Okay, well, so we're about to get started. Finally, I'll co-stream. It's I forget always how late it is usually. And we're gonna actually, I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna put some earbuds in. I want to be able to like hear some crap. So it's Paris Eternal versus the Mayhem. Now, this is a really interesting matchup, and I didn't choose this match on purpose, but it ends up working out pretty nicely because there's been a lot of drama, right, with these teams. I mean, every team this season especially has had some form of drama, but like you've got a team in Mayhem who went like major budget mode. People were not super high on them until they were supposedly like scrim gods, and maybe they're actually pretty decent. And they've done about a little better than expectations, I certainly think, this season. But there's obviously been a lot of dropping players and shuffling players, and right now they've been kind of quiet this meta, right? People think that, oh, maybe they would have been good, but they haven't been as good as people sort of expected. And then obviously Paris is nuts. Like, what on earth happened to Paris? Paris blows up their entire roster, re-signs everything. Like, nobody knows exactly what's going on. So that's that. And now we're going into a meta where teamwork is everything. A lot, well, not everything, but it's a lot. And obviously teams like Dallas Fuel with their Hive Mind are doing well. So it's going to be a question of like, how well can a contenders team with contenders talent do in this sort of a meta? Okay, let's get started, guys. We're going to go ahead and get my channel transition over. Please select the correct window. I'm a little slow, y'all. There you go. Let's go full screen and then check here. Yeah, so there you go. That should give you all the time that you need. Okay, let's turn on the audio a little bit and let's roll.
It seemed like maybe he was caught out of position there, and that was something that Checkmate could have taken advantage of.
Okay, so Florida gets, I'm not sure what happened first fight, y'all, so I apologize for that, but looks like first fight control for Mayhem. And the retake here is always like, ooh, that was nice. Do you notice the E value there? So that actually directly leads to a kill. So, it's getting messy. This is actually such an awkward point to hold and retake, especially in this meta, because you have to think about it. If you are someone on point, and someone, I mean, I'm pulling up Twitch chat on my phone. Give me a second. So if you're someone on point and you're standing on point, right? The cover on point is really quite bad, right? So that allows people outside the point to spam you, but it also makes it difficult for the person trying to retake or attack because you don't have really good angles onto the point outside of just the double angle on main. All right, let's actually get this rolling. Yeah, I'm not allowed to show the full Overwatch League POV. You guys are more than welcome to just play me in the background, but this is what I've got going. Paris basically signed an entire new roster. I don't know a lot of the details. I can very well imagine that you're looking at somebody like Dawn, you're looking at somebody like Khan, you're looking at somebody, maybe even a Wub, who you're thinking these guys might not have been signed on minimum. Maybe they were signed a little bit more. The roster has to cut costs, or the organization has to cut costs, and then they sign fully minimum team. Hydran's back though, so that's interesting. I was honestly very confused when Hydran was not playing, because if you think about it, like this mechanics certainly matter, but like Gurio is probably a better Ashe than Edison, at least mechanically. I mean, I don't even know after the other day. Edison looked cracked, but at least on paper, right? But they were playing Edison anyway, and we've seen this a couple times with like Doha and Sparkle, right, on Genji. I think a lot of this meta, it's like just like being a good listener and like being a good communicator. I think like if you look at somebody like Gladiators, for sure, the reason why Gladiators, oh, it's a huge, oh, it didn't hit, only hit 2, oh, Lumia's dead. The reason why Gladiators aren't playing freaking Ons on Ashe, as I guarantee Ons just doesn't communicate anywhere near as good as somebody like Patapan, or Happy, I guess, in this instance. So like not being able to communicate and listen, and that's why I was surprised about Hydran, because I look at Hydran compared to Exen, and you know Hydran's like, he's probably a hard caller. Like look at him, his mouth's going blah, 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 right? He's a good calmer, Western as well. So they're like the primarily Western team. There's fewer. I guess it depends on who's starting, but you know someone's English is quite, it appears to be quite good. So yeah. Edison popped yesterday, man. Edison was like actually crazy. I mean, I don't know if he was just hot that day, but like That's the best. That's the best mechanics. Some of the best mechanics I've ever seen from Edison ever. Right? Playing any hero ever. Uh-oh. Malthul scouted. Poor Malthul. But again, do you see this? Do you see that hive mind turn? Like, if Paris is better hive mind there, they communicate that they're turning on Malthul. They're on me, they're on me, they're on me. They're literally in spawn. Push, I need you to push, right? And then what happens? Paris is able to pursue and pincer them from behind. Maybe they win. They have to leave point. It's a risky play, of course, but it's risky for both sides to make a play like that. But Paris is too scared. Paris isn't decisive and cohesive enough on like responding to that play. And so they just sit in point, and then they lose the guaranteed 4v5 afterwards. This is what I'm talking about, guys. It's like, you can't really coach these situations. You can't really coach, guys. If they chase us in our spawn, a single man, the rest of us need to push. It's just, you just need to know. You just need to act. You just need to decide and go. And Florida literally just wins that last fight. Like, without even breaking down any mechanics or cooldown usage or neutral, they just flip and win the fight and win the point off of guys going, let's go kill that guy. 3, 2, 1, go. And Paris not responding. Now, when both teams are doing that basic level of teamwork or cohesion, then all of a sudden, things like cooldown usage matters a lot more. The mechanics matter a lot more. But especially early on in this meta, and a lot of teams just even still haven't gotten to a point to where they're actually all on the same page, playing the same unit. Checkmate with a Pharah, that's super interesting. That's just a first fight cheese. The boop is really strong. The spam damage is really, really quite strong. And I think given the nature of a little bit how open this point is, Genji has been a little less popular on this particular point. So Paris runs him over though. Absolutely jacked about checkmate. No directs, no boops, no nothing. I assume he'll swap. Yeah, because Pharah's not as good on the retake. And there we go. Hey Fenzi, good to see you, man. How you doing? Yeah, the thing is with Kim said is you literally just have no idea why Edison is playing. We saw the result look good, but there's whatever happened behind the scenes in terms of roster decision. It could have been that Edison really is cracked mechanically. It could have been something communication. You just don't know. We can conjecture. It's fun to conjecture, but we really honestly don't know. Okay, so that was a scuff to neutral from Paris. Looked kind of messy. Well, and for those of you who've actually seen my Overwatch League reviews, sadly the bar is just lowered with co-stream because it's impossible for me to really actually see exactly what's going on, but we can definitely conjecture. We can try and do quick reads, so it'll be a little bit less in depth. That's just the nature of these reviews. Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Thank you. Anima is the best coach. Oh my gosh, chat. Huh. I was wondering why I was so quiet. I full autopiloted. After this, I was such a jackass, guys. Anima was supposed to be in this call. I literally asked him to come because I was like, I don't know. I've worked with Anima before, and we have like super synergy, right? I'm such an idiot. Yeah, I'm not the most self-aware. Okay, so interesting fight coming up here because we're gonna get to the support ult mess. Paris really needs to get closer to the support ults before they take this fight, because what's going to happen is like Checkmate is obviously just has a free blade, but obviously like even if they engage with their blade Malthul and they beat in response, well, Paris doesn't have anything to respond, so it's slow neutral, there's the blade. It's just too deep, man. Like, it's just really too deep from Paris. That's just way too deep. It's way too free of a fight. When they 2-for-1, that's a terrible ult trade if you're going to lose the fight. Like, Florida only uses 2 ults for 1 and wins the entire fight off of that. Like, you really, if you're going to lose, you're like, I want to force 3 ults up from you. But Paris is just way too far forward without their beat yet. Like, Luke is 95%. Just chill. Fish. Play for, like, little neutral, like, one-shots with your Sojourn. Anything like that. Like, that was just really silly. And you lose an entire fight just because they didn't wait 5 seconds. That is really rough to lose a fight to that. There's the Sojourn ult. They're going to try and force a support ult. There's the Shout. There's the counter Sojourn ult. There's the counter Shout. RuPaul. They're going to match Rye. This is looking good for Paris. Yeah, that's just... There's the beat from Luke. It's over, though. They're not going to have the damage. As long as someone doesn't die. Oh. Maybe. Yeah, someone got greedy there. So they had a massive advantage. All they had to do was survive. Someone, I think, got either knifed or just caught out and died. That's a pretty decent Rampage. Nice. Honestly, I think Florida played that neutral really cleanly, though, to be honest with you. They kited out. Do you notice how they use their Sojourner? They kind of like let Paris walk into point, but that just allowed Hydron to have even better sightlines and better angles for his Sojourner ult than just sitting on point. And they matched Rally for Rally, they matched Sojourner for Sojourner, and they're just basically like, all right, well, we have our Junker Queen ult first. Lucio's gonna. Do you see how like Magid went across the point first or across the bridge? That's to deny the Lucio counter boop. So he can counter boop Luke Mino, who might be trying for the boop. Here's the retake. They're just gonna play for Blade or Beat here. There's no way Paris wins this unless they get a Sojourner one shot. Or RuPaul gets split. You see how Lucio Brig got split there? That wasn't good. That's a good E. It's a lot of pressure. Here's the Blade, and that's it. Yeah. Paris really just lost too many fights to really nothing. They got retook on with nothing. They lost an ult because they just literally didn't wait for beat. And that's gonna be that. Checking things off the map. What? Did he dash off the map? It has to be a dash, no? Magid beats. We need to kill Crawley. Crawley has to die, no? Yeah. Still, no. I was gonna say it was losable because they're close to a lot of ults, but it is not losable any longer. So yeah, just not the best team play from Paris. Just macro game just looked a little weak. And that's just the nature of their team, is they're gonna be a little bit weaker mechanically. They're gonna be a little weaker with team play. There's just gonna be a little bit. All right, so let's stop here. Let's pause here. Let's hop over into a voice call with Anima. Give me a second. All right, I'm gonna call Anima. So if these guys don't know, Anima is not only a moderator of mine, but also a coach. There's a lot of team coaching. Really smart guy, buddy of mine. So, yo, I'm sorry about that.
Happens to the best and the worst of us.
Yeah.
It's your choice on which.
Yeah, okay. Chad, is he a little quiet or is it just me?
Let me try and
I turned you up to
here.
200%, but I don't know if that's just me.
Better?
Oh, maybe that's too loud. Maybe it's just these earbuds. I need help. He's a little quiet. How about now? Recite the pledge of...
Test.
Holy crap, now I'm deaf. Oh, wait, no, that's just
Good.
the speakers. I think I'm good. KJ, did I forget with you too? I can't even remember, bro. I honestly just like absent-minded doesn't even do it justice. All right, so
Man has the memory of a goldfish.
yeah, that's okay. Thankfully, I don't have the looks of a. Don't have the something. There's something, and there's a joke in there somewhere. That's a bit ironic. Okay. So you were one of the guys initially on where you weren't a fan of Junker Queen. You're like, these idiots, they're playing Junker Queen, bunch of beta males, real team players know the angles, and you were wrong. So do you want to break down what your thoughts initially were and like what you've kind of like learned over, I guess, the last couple of months?
Yeah, so when I was initially looking at the meta, right, it's easy enough to look at Junker Queen as like a standalone hero.
Yeah.
And think, okay, she's probably not going to be that strong, right? Because you don't realistically have that much mobility as an individual hero. And then you don't have that much range as an individual hero. And with like the long rampage, charge up time, some things like that, it's like, well, on a single hero level, she's not theoretically that strong unless her numbers were just like blown out of the waters, right?
Right.
But then, of course, the problem is, like, yeah, you could pretty feasibly think, okay, well, I'm gonna stack her with Lucio,
I hear
maybe.
Parakeet, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, they're
you have is it just the one, or you have more than one?
4 of them.
Holy
and the parrot.
crap,
The
man!
parrot
I love
is quiet.
parakeets, but you're crazy.
They are the best. They were a gift.
You have to post
Well,
pictures. I mean, I've seen a
yeah,
couple of them, but you have to like give me like quality pictures.
I'll drown the server in it later.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, the issue though is when you stack her with Lucio and Brigitte, like that kite back,
Yeah.
plus like obviously the very fast kite back DPS heroes, like the way that those aspects just stack together are just overwhelming.
Yep.
Because like especially considering like the tracer nerfs that came in like way later, kind of Like traditionally we were like, oh yeah, like a Pharah Tracer thing would be like kind of our answer to this or something like that. But we don't really have enough teeth in that anymore. So
No.
it's kind of like this issue of thinking about the theoretical hero versus hero
Yep.
look rather than looking at the holistic, this is what the whole composition would look like and do and how it would execute versus these other
Right.
compositions, the opportunity cost of learning these counter comps, etc. So
Right.
just a little bit of like the loss between the theory and the actualized
Yeah,
gameplay.
I hear you. I mean, it's a lot like just team play in general. It's like the sum is the greater than the sum of the parts, right? The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, rather. I mean, definitely, like you said, the ability to synergize, like you're sustained between so many different heroes to have that level of synergy. It's like you have now 3 AOE heals, and you have now double speed. And a lot of heroes that want to get up close, that do well with getting up close, and then obviously the ult game is really strong too. Yeah, because I was a little with you. I think it was a little bit of how good is the ability to sustain going to be against a comp that really outside of Brig Pack doesn't have the ability to sustain or support angles.
Yeah.
And that was a real question. Now, I will say this though, that interestingly enough, that the DPS, even when played in a non-mirror, do lend themselves towards Genji, right? They do lend themselves towards heroes with mobility with angle contest abilities. So even if it is Brig Lucio, it's not Mei, it's not Reaper, right? It's heroes that actually have some level of burst and level of mobility. Talked about that a little bit on the stream. So yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't know.
something fascinating about the Dallas and Shot game yesterday that perhaps we'll see today. It may depend based on like how much these teams have leveled up.
Yeah,
But you would see both of those teams sending their Lucio and their Genji as kind of a two-man wing pair
yeah,
out to the sides.
yeah,
So now that we're stabilized more in like definitely mirror situations in the most cases, you
yeah,
are seeing those teams shift into that more emphasis on maybe looking to see how they can play a little more separated while still being near
yeah,
enough to get to the shot when it counts. So
yeah,
we
exactly.
might see teams really developing that a little more nowadays.
Always comes back to angles, man. Always comes back to angles. It's only a matter of time. like it's
So
like
true.
slowly devolving to angles again, and that's just how it works. But yeah. I mean, it was interesting. I mean, I'm pulling for Paris today. We'll see if they can pull it out. Like, what are your thoughts in this match?
Honestly, I would love to see if Paris can. I think the odds of them winning are going to be very tough. I think I would
Yeah,
have to expect a major fumble from Mayhem, perhaps with miscalculating maybe something with their Anas then that they sometimes like to pull
yeah, that's
out.
true. Yeah,
I
could
feel
be.
like that has a lot more room for error if they just like do a poor rotation or
Yep,
something like that.
agreed.
So I could see Pairs pretty easily slipping in a map or two, but I don't know if Mayhem are going to be caught on the back foot enough
I
for them
agree.
to win.
I just think it's hard for me to see Paris winning a match this stage. Like, I
Yeah.
think like they just mechanically do not match up to any team in the league, and they're
hmm
also coming in a rough circumstance in terms of like energy, camaraderie, confidence. All those things have to be at a low point, and even like the synergy, like it's not. We're not seeing it be a strong point for them. I don't know if you were watching much of the last map, but it's like just some of the team macro mistakes. It's like they don't really have a strong point right now. It was a
Yeah.
little bit like London last season where maybe we didn't have the best mechanical players, but on British Hurricane there was like a level of cockiness, like level of confidence and the synergy. And then when that didn't show up during some games, I mean, we don't
Yeah.
have a Korean superstar. We don't have the best Western flex DPS. We didn't have a lot to fall back on. Ironically, our best mechanical player in a lot of ways was Hottie, who everybody was just harping on, and so it was like it was a bit of a mess. And obviously, I feel for those guys who've been in these situations, and it's really not. The worst part about it is it's not a great opportunity to learn and improve in, even, right? So like you look at these players, could these guys be out tier or out like in the future? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think they've got it for sure, but this is going to be a tough situation for them to improve and learn from.
Yeah.
So
Not an environment set up for optimal hive mind or
no,
necessarily growth yet.
no,
So
agreed. Okay, so we're started here. I don't know if you're on my stream. 3:45, 3, 2, 1, 40. Here's the Ana's end defense. That's odd.
yeah, I
Has
think
has to
it's
be bad on second, but maybe it's okay in third and first. I mean,
yeah, that's kind of what I think as well.
Do you think they play this on attack? No way, right?
No, there should not be any chance. I think they would get pounded on the rotation.
Yeah, probably right. What would you do if you're Paris here, like in terms of rotations? Because it has to be, we have to find a way to like rotate onto the back line or onto an off angle in a way
Yeah.
Onizen doesn't have sightlines. Ooh.
I almost
Whoa,
think-
someone just like jumped in his chair.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Unfortunate. Yeah, I think the way that honestly I would be curious if they could tackle it is if they could somehow rotate the Junker Queen maybe a little more towards garage doors on right side, maybe behind the fire truck. I mean, it's going to be painful getting
Yeah.
into that position, obviously, from across these long sight lines, but that way you can get the Genji and Lucio closer
That's
to that
true.
back line and maybe force them out of that entrenched position. It looks like they're just going to be forcing the objective
Oh, that's
though
a
here.
nice knife. Oh, nice sleep too. When we were playing this as Reinhardt on this particular map, we would struggle a lot versus Onizen comps on this first point because it's actually the sightlines are deceivingly long. It is hard to catch Onizen. So what we would do sometimes is we do the rotate far through the, like if you're an attacker, far left wrap around. But then you guys have probably seen if you watch any of our games, we'd split off a Lucio May early, and we wouldn't actually rotate as 5. We do the initial rotate as 5, but then we do split pushes onto separate targets. Because if we could find a way to get our May or Lucio, or find a way to allow our Ryan to just pin into your backline without having 5 people looking at him, we would usually benefit from that. But it's tricky. Okay, there's the Tracer. That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess they're probably trying to like I think they're probably thinking that they might be able to get an early pickoff on the Zen, but I think they're too late on it. I think now that they're out of
Yeah.
the neutral and into the ult game, I don't think they're gonna find enough
I agree.
group from the Tracer.
I
Maybe
agree.
if they had rolled out from it
I
on
just
the
don't think
start.
Tracer's even that particularly good. Like, unless Dove is like really comfortable. If you're playing Shax, sure, but like, it's not like Sojourn is bad versus this comp. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You've got good
He
pressure
probably-
and someone you can get good pressure on backline too. Like on his end,
Yeah.
Sojourn is fairly decent. Like a charge shot versus those support heroes is rough.
My guess is he doesn't feel like was finding the angles that he wants.
Yeah.
Maybe too much pressure on him from checkmate with the pocket with the orb and Discord,
Yeah.
because that could be pretty painful. They're probably playing the Discord mostly on Cry, but
That's rough, dude. Double support ult from Paris. We're probably gonna see a full hold, I think, here.
yeah, that's my thoughts as well.
Yeah, that was the fight you have to win, right? Because even though they're thinking, oh, they have Blade now, if someone if they either tempo, Florida tempos here, because that's the other thing too. People don't understand that this comp can play with tempo. If like you saw it there in the second fight there from Paris, like they made the rotate into the left, and Florida just pushed them. Like you got no cooldowns, you have no amp, you have no shout. We're gonna push you now. They could do that. They could do that, and they could just push into them with Rampage and kill it, or they can defensively Rampage like the Blade. Like we might actually see that here. I'm actually curious to see how someone uses this. There's a Blade. Do we see Rampage? Yeah, he does. Oh, they just
this
straight up kill
really,
him.
I think this really all just depends on if Malthal can catch Mayhem, but yeah, no, okay, yeah, no luck, yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They killed him without even having to rampage him. They rampaged afterwards.
Yeah, that's brutal. Because honestly, that was like their one opportunity. Because well, Eternal didn't have any support ults. Mayhem obviously didn't either. So
Yeah.
it was like a brief chance. But I think someone probably played that pretty well,
Yep.
even not
Yep.
needing the rampage
Yep.
and holding it worked out.
Yeah, but the other thing you have to remember too is like you still have Shout defensively. You don't have this support ult, but you do still have Shout, and unless you were able to group and stack, that Genji might not necessarily have Shout. I mean, it depends. I didn't see exactly how Paris executed, but it did feel like maybe that was a little bit rushed. But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
this team is
it's
rough.
understandable considering. I mean, the time bank was pretty low. Maybe they could have managed to just get juggle touches a little bit to buy a little more time to get
Yeah.
into like a more situated situation. But
Yeah.
it's hard to blame them.
No. I mean, that's how you have to take this if you're playing a brawl comp. You have to find a way that you might not necessarily get a kill, but you force them back off the point. You force them out of the choke, and then you force the Onizen have to retake on the point. Which, to be fair, I think Paris did at some point, but then I think Dove got right-clicked or something goofy, and it just
I do remember they did get the traction on point briefly,
And then
but there was I think it was some angle from like Hydron or something caught him out from the side or something like that.
Man. Magic is just taking heads off. He got a Lucamino too earlier.
That's ruthless.
Yeah, to be honest, chat, like I know Faustus Fossis is a good coach working with them. I think there's so many issues with Paris. Like it really might just need to be a clean reset. Management, team, everything needs to go. I honestly, it's really impossible to say. The Briggs in is super, super interesting. Oh, never mind. That didn't last long. Okay, let's see how Mayhem takes this. How do they rotate? Inside left. Are they gonna split?
I think it has to be left first, yeah, because they don't want to be taking the heat from the sight lines and having their shot forced early.
That's true. Oh, they're just gonna go.
I'm more curious if they're going across. Okay, so they're just going across. They're not even gonna bother going to the left side.
That's true, yeah. Hydron got a really nice E there. Oh, he got split. Oh. Hydron is like specifically looking for E's to split off single targets so they can rush on. Like he's just trying to like zone the Lucio, trap them for lack of a better term, which is super interesting. Interesting use of the Ashe here. Again, this has to be a more sightlines Ashe equals better kind of a situation.
Yeah, especially because they're on the defense. Maybe they don't feel like the kite back. I mean, they can't really afford to kite back too much. Yeah. So I mean, maybe they just don't even want to worry about
push-pull. So yeah, I mean that's the thing is like when you're playing Sojourn, you got the push-pull, you're mobile, you're flexible. Ashe is a little bit more stationary. But you're noticing like even the better teams are consistently like the Dallas is playing a lot of Ashe. That's the last team you'd expect to play a lot of Ashe, but. You know, maybe teams are just getting so good at contesting these angles, preventing the Ashe from getting dove on, and then it's like the Ashe is just strictly better. I think Bob is probably the better ultimate, more consistent ultimate, I would say, if nothing else.
Especially for initiating fights, I think it can put on a lot more pressure for forcing that early shout or like early amp and resource blend.
Florida gets a lot of space. They can stabilize here as well. Paris is just kind of in the open. There's the commit.
Nice.
It's out.
Dove hit the Bob first before support ult already.
Fat Bob. That should have been fight winning, but they beat into it. There's the rally. Luke, please, hopefully Luke doesn't have to beat.
I think they should be good.
Should be okay. Yeah, it should be okay.
That Bob a little is huge. Scrappy, but
yeah, Bob is huge. Just complete split. It's like what Sojourn was doing with the E's earlier, right? Where it's like you don't even necessarily see the value, but it's like the split it provides. Paris can actually do something with it.
I think it was pretty enormous that he got it that split second before Sir Majed got his beat, because at that point, like, they're the ones initiating the play.
That's true. I think that Majed beat, but they were already split when he had beat.
Mayhem was like kind of in shambles already a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. What was that positioning from Rack? Were they trying to go like first tempo? Do you see that? He was like sitting above him. He's like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
I think they must have been trying to set
unusual
first tempo. That's not a great trade. That's not a good trade at all. 2 for 1 and they don't even necessarily win it. Oh, maybe. Oh, what? Mouth will deflect? That's it, boys.
Yeah, I think it is well played by the Mayhem to use the blade to just draw out the beat and then following up with the Hydron overclock.
Yeah. I don't know what happened with Mouthful Blade, but again,
that was kind of the one question mark I think during that fight as well for me.
It just comes down to ults, man. Like if a team can just 2 for 1 and win the fight, or 1 for 2 essentially, and just not die. Like Florida Mayhem uses a beat versus a beat and a blade, and they just still don't die. Like something desperately had to go wrong there for that to be okay.
Yeah, that's where like it's interesting.
I don't know. Like go ahead. Sorry.
It's interesting seeing the pull from the ult economy in this meta, especially around those support ults.
Yeah. And that's where, like, to me, that's where the whole neutral game comes from. I mean, it sounds like kind of like 3-head-ish, but it's like it's like what Egoist Cat was talking about, like the passive advantage. The team that has the better positions and better use of cooldowns ends up forcing an ultimate without actually even doing anything or using anything. And then all of a sudden you see like, okay, how did Florida use 2 for 1 there, or 1 for 2 and still be fine, right? And still end up having the Sojourn overclock afterwards to win it. Something had to have gone wrong with the neutral game. I wasn't sure exactly what. Definitely looked like Paris was trying to go first tempo, right? And then they got scouted and cleared out. So maybe that was just a bad cooldown trade, but I don't know. That was close at least. Not as much as it looks. Like that's a tough point to attack for anybody, but at some point it has to break, and Paris fumbled their break and Florida did not. Paris the only team to put flex support on Lucio. Yeah, well, Luke is more of a flex though. Lucas kind of plays a little bit of both. I know Lucas probably act more comfortable on Lucio than he is on Brig actually.
Yeah, he's pretty well known around the scene for having the Lucio in the pocket and playing both. But honestly, like it's not too shady. I mean, of course, obviously, if you want to consider Shock, I mean, I don't even know if Violet counts as a flex support for all purposes now with how long he's been working on the
Yeah, yeah,
main supports all season. But hey, there's your other example.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, if it was I'm not saying Fifi was it was a steamroll, but Florida won the fight that they needed to win. Paris did not, and Florida still had time in the bag for another attempt as well if they were unsuccessful.
Yeah,
Looking
it's
as
tricky because
bad as 2021 Valiant? I don't think so. I don't think any team is as bad as 2020 Valiant outside of Shanghai.
yeah, I would agree on that regard.
I mean,
But yeah, it's tricky because you're like really waiting for all these stars to align in these fights sometimes, and they're only gonna align like once or twice in some
yeah,
cases.
yeah. In a way, that can be a blessing. But it could also be a curse because there's not as much clutch value with this composition. So when you have an advantage, and you're gonna win the fight. But it also means, like you said, if you do mess up at those clutch intervals, you know, you're not going to land a big bionic grenade or hit a widow headshot and clutch it out. You're pretty much done. Sojourn obviously is a factor, but that really often is not the only factor, but the most, like, really the only one that really does turn fights.
And honestly, if you have the Ash, that's almost even less, right? Because she's not getting the instant one shots out of nowhere, so there's a little more margin for people to kite out. So
Right.
you're playing even more for that like neutral buildup and the early resource forced and
Jeez.
all of that, rather than that clutch value.
It is. Jeez. What are your thoughts on carrots?
Carrots.
Yeah.
I mean, they're delicious, but
Oh, it's a bit of a hotcake.
yeah, I know, but I feel like it's more about what you can pair them with than the carrot itself, right?
So would you say salt's delicious then?
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you're not gonna like shove salt in your mouth plain, right?
Well,
But
yeah.
then what you're gonna do is you're gonna use it as an accent to the food. So for example, with the carrots, you use it for hummus or a veggie dip, or maybe in like a stew or something.
So you're saying
So
carrots are an excellent spice?
if you want to phrase it like that, yes, you can use those words rather than and I will not stop you. I don't think I would personally call carrots a fight. I mean a spice, but I would call them a good vehicle, perhaps here.
Yeah, they're okay. I made the mistake of letting this carrot sit out too long. Got a little dry.
And you're eating it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big boy, you know? You have to, sometimes it's all about doing hard things, you know? So, making the
That sounds
sacrifices
like
necessary.
what people cope with when they have poor planning.
Well, look, I had a lot of things I had to worry about besides eating crappy carrots.
Fair enough.
Right? So, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about carrots. It's like, oh, carrots. And you're like, a couple carrots later, you're like, oh no, I hate my life. This is worthless.
What cut of carrots is this? Like baby carrots,
I mean,
full
you get like
carrots,
it's like
slices?
it's like a normal carrot, but you cut it up, and so it's not.
Yeah, shredded.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
Don't
think
they-
that's the weakest carrot type, though.
Well, don't they do something to baby carrots? Do they do something to baby carrots? Do they do something?
I would not know.
I'm pretty
and
sure
I
they do
probably-
something to baby carrots. I'm not saying like they like abuse them or hit them or something, but like I swear they do something about baby carrots.
Unethical carrot farming.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably sprayed in a little bit of like vitamin C or something for
Do they spray them or
preservative.
something? Is it preservative?
I mean, I'm speaking out of my nose here. I can't
Baby
say for
carrots
sure.
Sprayed. I'm looking at baby carrots sprayed. The truth behind carrots. Baby carrots have long been a favorite lunchbox staple. But what's the real deal behind baby carrots?
Oh baby.
This, I love this quote. But from Bob Borda, a spokesman for Grimway Farms. That's great. Naturally, you breed carrots to get the sweetest flavor and crunch.
Of course.
Excellent.
Of course.
Sweetest flavor and crunch. The man's a poet. All right, what's the deal with baby carrots? Wait.
Unfortunately, we'll have to
All
wait
carrots
until after
receive a
this.
brisk scrub accompanied by chlorine bath. Oh no! To prevent food poisoning before final wash of water. Okay. It's comparable to the limits found in tap water. Fair enough. But still, y'all, I'm literally eating. I might as well just be like taking like a fat jug of pool water. You're literally just gallons of chlorine. Drink bleach? Nah, man. Just eat a couple baby carrots.
Yep, all the chlorine
Your
stays
liver
in the
will literally
carrot. You heard it
explode.
here first.
Yeah, your liver will explode. Alright, we're starting.
I don't think they're gonna do anything.
I guess we're seeing the same double flex support setup from Mayhem, which is a more common look for them on the defense. I feel like it might be a little harder to run on this map, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when we played Florida, it was not particularly hard, if I remember correctly. It's too much. I don't know. It's weird. It's like too high, you know? It's like you can't, like, it's hard to put your Anazen in positions where they're safe from a Genji without being isolated, or without being, like, isolated from your... Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it as much with maps that are super high mobile, because that just opens up opportunities for, like, Sojourns and Genjis to, like, hunt down. I mean, they must have success with it. I just am personally not a fan of it. I think it's too easy to play for cart, and then you send somebody up the high ground and contest. The Widow's interesting. I actually don't think it's quite that... Well, I'm not sure how I feel about the Widow.
I'd imagine that it's partly a response to running the Anazen for
but I'm not sure
Mayhem.
I'm not sure it's better. Oh, Hydran.
It could be better in the short run if Dove hits like a crazy shot or anything, but in the long run, I think you just absolutely lose out.
It gets the high ground, so you see, like, it forces Florida back. They have to play for the second half of the point. You can't hold high ground when you don't have a Widow mirror. Not in this map, but I just don't know. Like,
fortunately, Mayhem
wait,
doesn't
Paris
seem
is
like
mirroring?
they care.
Wait, so I'm sorry. Stop. Paris is mirroring?
Yeah, they're mirroring the Anazen.
What am I missing? Is there something in
It feels maybe a little. No, I don't think. I mean, I can't imagine that there could be, because I mean, if you just go yesterday and watch, obviously the two best teams here on the
yeah, true.
in the meta, and they're not looking for this.
I don't know.
I can't imagine.
Okay,
It might be a kind of a spur of the moment choice.
I guess interesting. And then I feel at this point, it almost feels like people are just playing Junker Queen just perfunctory. Like, is Junker Queen still the best? I guess it's just like you have to play Junker Queen because then one of them will just swap Rig or Lucio, and you're like, oh crap, you have to go back to Junker Queen, you know?
So you think.
But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I guess it's just gonna come down to like DPS angles here. I mean, you can really be so greedy now with your Anazen splits now. There's really nothing that's gonna be able to contest them. This is what I'm talking about with the high ground, though. Should be really
Honestly,
hard.
I would keep an eye on Krawi here, because I think if he can hit his rampage just right, because they have Dove forcing a lot of these people off the high ground, he'll have a big advantage potentially in setting up a good rampage.
That's
and
true.
if he hits that just right, that can completely negate Majed's chance, even if he has it by then.
That's true. And he's gonna get his. He's gonna get it soon here. Both teams.
Yeah,
This is gonna be a
they would
mess.
probably counter Bob, but it could be scrappy.
Oh, pfft. Whoa.
Ooh, investing the trance.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting. Ah. Yikes, that's tough. There's the Widow swap. There's the Brig Lucio. Doesn't work out.
Yeah.
The thing is, like,
tricky.
there's such a big defender's advantage a lot of times because these high grounds are just so. There's so many angles that you can play on that second half.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to necessarily break that, especially considering Mayhem barely had to spend anything for that hold.
Yeah, I don't know. Fifi, honestly, I'm not sure. I think a lot of it comes down to, at least maybe in this meta, where it's like, maybe that Junker Queen comp is just so strong that there just really is nothing that consistently counters it. So even if you were to pick up like our Rhine comp, right, you just still can't make it work. It's just there isn't anything else. Because at least Rhine comp was like, Rhine was pretty strong, right? Rhine comp wasn't strong, but Rhine was pretty strong, so you can make it work. But I don't know, maybe you just have to play Junker Queen. I will say this as well, no shade to Paris, but Paris has never done anything but play meta the whole year. Even early on, if there was ever a team that would pick up Rhine and be able to match us on it, it would have been Paris, with Naga, with Dawn, with Khan, and they never did. They always would play hard meta, hard meta, hard meta, hard meta, and obviously that didn't work out super well for them. So I don't see that philosophy changing. But especially at this point now, I don't know what you think, Anima, but like I mean maybe you should just try something random, and maybe you could try a double flex, but like I don't know.
I think one of the hardest things about that is Krawi is actually by background an off-tank player.
Yeah.
And I think the Sigma Diva Zarya pocket picks are going to be much weaker as responses to this compared to maybe like a Winston or a Doomfist or a Ball.
Maybe you could get away with like a Brig Lucio Zarya or something.
I think, yeah, like Zarya or Diva maybe could work, but I feel like you would need a little more. Yeah, so that Diva would be, you would have to be like out of your mind basically.
Yeah.
But at least you can get away. Similar to like like Sigma's obviously just gonna get run over. Like But yeah, it's messy. I don't love any of the looks that they would have. So honestly, it might be in their best interest now to just play that JQ, and like I don't hate if they looked for side adaptations, like maybe like a May or something. But it's just rough.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Okay, so they're gonna defend with the same comp. Florida's gonna attack with. This is kind of what I was talking about, like with defender's advantage. Like attacker can just push cart, so it's fine to play the Lucio comp here. Contest high ground when you have to, but until then, not really worry about it. But theoretically, there's an option for Dove, Malfoy, Luke. All these guys put a lot of pressure pre-fight, get a lot of good pressure out.
Hydron on the Sojourn is interesting because I believe teams have like mostly preferred Ashe on this map a lot, or at least played it quite a bit.
It might just be the nature of just the attack and then playing into the Ana Zen. You prefer this?
Yeah. Or possibly, yeah, especially also because they have to push it such a short distance, getting a big E or something could make all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at Sojourn as like versus like an Ana Zen comp, and it just feels like lethal, you know? But, okay, well, there's the Widow. That's going to force the Ana Zen out of space. Maybe that's all it really needs. Because you're going to... Ooh, nice. Theoretically, Hydran should be able to clear them off of high ground, which is really what Paris do not want to do with this comp.
Yeah.
They don't want to give up that high ground, which if they give up the high ground, that makes it a lot easier for Florida Mayhem to actually access them with their backline. Look at Florida Mayhem's backline. Look at how much closer they are now to that Zenyatta that they are to the Junker Queen. And that's really just from the Widow, right? And then obviously the scope on point.
Yeah, she's already having pretty big impacts on the fight here, and she can get a pretty quick amount of distance off the cart too, so it's not bad having her down here.
Krawi just died.
Oh man,
Krawi just get double dinged. Did you see that?
No, and I try and get stuff too on the finish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with the rotation there from Krawi. It felt kind of indecisive, honestly.
Yeah, it felt goofy.
Then again, JQ doesn't have that much bailouts for getting headshotted by Widow. She doesn't have that much like burst.
Yeah.
Restore.
I'll say this though, that nothing else is. It takes freaking forever for Mayhem to build support ults.
Yeah.
Like just forever.
I mean, they're getting outpaced here by Luke Amino, and I mean, say what you will, but
that was their ult too. Ah, why has this guy not been playing, man?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, Xe is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong.
Xe is phenomenal, but like.
Hydron is like very clearly bringing his name to the table and showing why he's on this team and why he's a name to be feared.
We knew he was this good, man. I know this guy.
Yeah.
We know he's a good player. I don't know. There must have been something behind the scenes, but like, I am fairly certain that Florida. Yeah, I don't know. There's something behind the scenes we don't understand. But I wish I knew. I wish I knew because Xe is cracked too, but Hydron is like almost as cracked, if not as cracked, and also is. I feel like a better communicator. Jeez, guys. Paris is just like... Dude, I was so excited when Paris won a map yesterday. I was not even joking. I was stoked, and I want to punch a hole in the wall when they lost. Did you see Coliseo versus Nixel yesterday? Did you, Anima?
I did not personally, no.
All right. It was the end of it. Paris, like, literally just fumbled the bag. They would have won the map.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it was just really, really... depressing.
Well, in this match, you can say that they're prepping for their movement to Las Vegas, taking a gamble on the Ana there and not having it work out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess credit for it. Like, I mean, maybe that's something that also they practice in scrims. But yeah, I mean, it's different. You know, you're
Yeah.
probably not going to beat Florida in the Brig mirror. So
Yeah, might as well
not.
like give it a shot, right?
Yeah, that's my thing though. Is like you look at Malthul. Malthul, I think is probably a pretty decent Genji, but outside of that, they really don't have. I mean, Rack is probably a pretty decent Brig mechanically, but they don't have a lot of strengths. Oh, Hydron got robbed. But I don't think they have.
Man.
I don't think they have a lot of strengths. I mean, Match played pretty well to be fair, but like I don't know.
I just don't feel like they have enough cohesion in their game plan right now. Like it
Yeah.
feels like every play they're making, things are a little too split off and just not aligning in the right way to make things happen
Yeah.
the ways that they want.
Yeah, that's rough, man. That's rough.
To answer, I don't think the Glads are out now yet. But I think now there's a little more pressure on Outlaws because Outlaws were hoping that Paris would win at least 2 maps because then they would just be guaranteed qualified. Now I think there might be a little more weight on winning that Justice
It is
match.
mess this stage, man. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just selective memory. I wasn't paying attention previously, but like it feels like
No, we're by far the most tangled out of all the stages we've had in
it's
recent memory.
crazy, dude. Glads look so dominant, man. I'm telling you, man, it's all mental buff. It's all hive mind. Atlanta's not even necessarily a bad team, but they got dumpstered. They had their butts spanked. And I'm telling you, it's like hive mind, confidence, everybody on the same page. I guarantee you the space change had something to do with it. And I guarantee you...
we know how he calls. We all know.
But the thing is, it's not even necessarily like Reiner was a bad Junker Queen. Maybe he just like was not super good and then like lost his confidence and then like it just... breath of fresh air, man. It's like it's psychological stuff, dude. That swings so many of these metas, especially this meta, man. Like holy cow, you know, it's not like there's like a huge mechanic. I mean, there's Hanben obviously, but a lot of these teams don't necessarily need a Hanben to do well.
Any team would want a Hanben, but yeah, not that many can afford one, and there's only one Hanben.
Yeah, dude, holy cow, that guy's like, I thought it was a little bit of hype, but man, I watched.
He's sickeningly good.
He's so good. He hits like so many knives. I'm like, why? How did you do that?
Yeah. He's one of those players like who last year was on my short list of like potential best players in the world.
Yeah.
Along with like some dudes like Lip, Alarm, etc.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had some quiet tournament this year in that mid-season madness or whatever the second one was, but hey, I mean, the know-how and the mechanics, those are still there, and this dude is still dangerous.
And sometimes it's just the nature of the meta, right? Like, there's no other sport in the world that changes things like this frequently. Like, being a good X isn't good enough. You have to be good at this, and you need to get at this, and you need to get at this. I think Spitfire needs to get 2 maps. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, honestly, like, yeah, Spitfire... If this is the stage that they miss, I mean, it sucks, but like they really should not have lost the games last week. And they really should not have lost the game versus Florida when I was with them the first week as well. That was just... So they've had really 3 games where when it was Atlanta, Florida, and Washington that they shouldn't have lost. They should have won. So if, you know, you got to win those games. You have to win those games.
Yeah, Toronto has been looking pretty good, but I do agree, Solarius. Like, I mean, at the same time, I don't actually have that much confidence in their purposeful macro, if that makes sense. Historically, looking at some of their play and analyzing it.
I think they had at least probably the best grasp of the macro before any other team did, at least in scrims.
It's like an early jump on it.
Yeah, I think they had, well, not just early jump in terms of understanding, but like actual execution. Like we had an early jump as well, but we could not execute the way to the level that we understood the composition, at least by the time that first game came around. Whereas Toronto felt like they were actually executing on a lot of their passive advantage, a lot of their angle control, things like that. Backbone top 5. I mean, I'm telling you, Backbone was top. Listen, when Backbone is in flow state, which I've seen many times in scrims, he is an excellent Genji mechanically. If he's not in flow state, he's just not going to play well. And you should know that. You should know that kind of mentality of... I mean, every single one of you in this chat has been in a flow state in a competitive game, and you know how it feels like, right? Every single one of you. So what makes players like Proper and Kevster so good is not necessarily that their mechanical peak is higher than every other Genji in the world is because they just consistently they just don't play bad. Like Proper just is consistently good. Source, dude, trust me, bro. I mean, no, it's not as if we haven't scrimmed Shock and the Genji meta multiple times. Dude, there was a scrim block where Backbone was absolutely diffing Proper in every single map we scrimmed. If he shows up in game day, if he doesn't, Proper. What makes Proper great, like I already said, is that he just shows up. He shows up on game day. So, and he's consistently really, really good. Same thing with a player like Kevster.
Yeah, something that I always like to say about Proper is oftentimes it's almost so much less what he does do and so much more what he doesn't do, because he doesn't open up those same gaps and openings, and he has a remarkable consistency and discipline to his play that is very hard to find in other players, and like that's one of the reasons that he's one of these best players in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that Backbone copy pasta. Yeah. I mean, it's a joke. It's so much of it is mentality, man. So much of it is mentality. I remember watching Super's POV, and it was super clunky with some of his Genji stuff, but he just played with so much confidence, and the team was just doing like whatever around him. It's just like, you can't lose. No, it was from Super. Super streamed and was talking about like, oh, Backbone's so trash because I was fine, even though I had literally the best team in the world playing around me. Shocker.
To be fair, I think in the context, I don't think he was specifically saying Backbone was trash, but using it as a comparison point for a lower tier Genji.
Yeah.
Like, I think he very carefully didn't want to, like, obviously be, like, slamming Backbone.
Yeah.
But it's funnier if you look at it that way. It's a joke.
Yeah.
I feel like it was disappointing almost when they revealed Kevster's face because it took out some of the mystery of it. I don't know if I'm alone on that. But...
Yeah. He is crazy. I think like if there was, I said it in the AMA, if there's one player I could coach, I would love to coach Kevster. Love to see like what goes through his brain. Because you just don't see players that flexible and that consistent. I think if he isn't contention for MVP at the very least, it's gonna be a robbery.
I mean, he's got to be basically a shoo-in at this point, right? Because with 2 tournament wins already, and honestly, putting up a pretty good performance here during this tournament, even regardless of what you're looking at his team doing, I think people have still been fairly impressed. So I think he's, at the very least, obviously, a lock-in almost for Roll Star.
I can't answer who MVP is. Like, people are asking me, like, it's the same thing that tilts me off the face of the earth about the Pro Bowl or the All-Pro in, like, the NFL. You don't know, guys. We're, like, we're not even into the playoffs for this stage. We haven't even finished the freaking regular season for Stage 3, much less Stage 4, right? I just think you're crazy. I mean, you can't say who MVP is until, I'm not even joking, the championship games have been played. And then you can go... Right? I'm not saying that the MVP necessarily has to be a winner, right? Or even a person that maybe not even on the second place team, but you have to be objective, be like, all right, this team made a deep dive in playoffs. They were consistent throughout the entire year, even on the stage where they weren't playing well, he was playing good. You just don't know. Yeah, take me off. It's a innocent, fun, educational, entertaining questions. No, sorry if I blew your ears off. No, it has to be,
Yeah, we don't do innocent questions around here. But yeah, like if for example, a quick thought experiment here, if you have Shanghai Dragons do like a deep run during this tournament and then pop off during the playoffs, Lip has suddenly a very, very, very compelling argument for MVP. Arguably almost more so than Kevster proper, because first of all, recency bias, which we like to slap in there for good measure, has kind of put in good but a little bit sleeper performances, as in like people are sleeping on how good he has been because of Shanghai's those results in these. It could turn on a dime faster than you would think. I mean, obviously currently people like Kevster, proper, etc. are very obviously forerunners, but there's still a lot of room for things to wiggle around.
I agree. Many leagues decide the MVP before the playoffs. Yeah, but that's not because it's a good decision in terms of like actually deciding who MVP is. The reason people do that is because once the playoffs have finished, the hype and excitement dies off. So if you announce the MVP 3 days after the championship, nobody would care. They'd be on to the next game until the next Overwatch League season. So, I mean, I understand why it's done, but it's not done because it helps you to make the best decision. I mean, you can make an argument that recency bias for playoffs would affect it, but if you're like talking like objectively, polling coaches, players, things like that, I think the reason the MVP is done before is because like that's when hype is like really, really high. And before that player inevitably disappoints you in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about it, Anna, but I mean, to me, they're like having like the mid-season first stage thoughts and discussions. All it does is it leads you to like people are like proper, and proper is great. But what if proper wasn't as good this stage, right? Or what if it kind of gets people locked into these opinions too early? Yeah, you know. Right, exactly. Fearless fell off in the net, and I will say this. I think again, recency bias is important. Like if like let's say Reiner plays really, really well next stage, I still think he's got an argument. One bad stage shouldn't end it. It's not like you're not allowed to have a bad stage. Like what? Like come on, man. Like if he was the consistent reason why Glads won the first and second stage, and maybe why the Glads do really well next stage, like that's a huge chunk of the season. Like we're talking about the collectively most valuable player who had the biggest impact cumulatively. That's why I look at somebody like Kevster, and I like Kevster because Kevster has been like consistently good throughout the season, right? I've never felt like Kevster's feeding. Kevster's been consistently good, and I think like that deserves at least some form of credit, right? You got to give the guy credit for being consistently good the whole season. And I think if you take Kevster out of the equation for Glads, I think Glads struggle a lot. I think Kevster is really their most consistent DPS, probably the most consistent player, period. I don't know what the format is for next stage. I'll have to look at it.
Especially when you remember that the Gladiators' like whole slogan almost in the earlier tournament cycles was their flexibility, and they're like, we have the flexibility, and like I mean Kevster's like that's honestly probably the biggest hinge point on that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and you look at something like Patapan coming in, Happy coming in, and there's been a lot of moving parts to the Glads, and yet Kevster continually remains. Yet there remains Kevster. When all the league fades, collapses, there will still be Kevster.
Yeah, genuinely, he's the only piece I believe that hasn't moved around here, because you have the Patty Ons Happy. You had, I think, Glads were running Shoe Skewed and Shoe Faster in the earlier tournaments, and now it's without Shoe, and now it's just the Faster Skewed. Running Reiner a lot, and now swapped the space.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's the other thing. Someone in chat was saying like Smurf and stuff. No, do you be honest with yourself? How many of you guys in chat? What percentage of the APAC games do you guys like actually watch in proportion to NA games? I can be honest. I barely watched any APAC games. Barely any. I don't know about you, Anima.
I watched some of the high-profile ones, but not like I don't. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't watch Guangzhou games. I don't watch Hangzhou games. I don't watch almost all Chengdu or LA Valiant games. It's mostly just the ones with Dynasty and Shanghai, because they're the teams I can reliably think that they might be showing me something compelling where I'm like, okay, that's kind of thought-provoking, right?
Yeah.
So unless something really interesting happened, I'm probably not gonna like go back and watch those.
Like it's impossible to be impartial if you're like, I mean, I know there's a lot of Overwatch League players and coaches that don't watch all the APAC games.
Yeah.
Just don't have time. There's just not enough time in the day. There's a lot of games, and it's way too early in the morning for my time, and I'm East Coast. Same thing for West Coast. It's way too late, way too early. And then you got scrims. Like people just don't have time to watch. And I think the league format being split is just horrible. Like I understand with COVID or whatever else is going on, but it is really just horrible. The fact that the league is split like this, I think it really like is the dead rat in the water for the whole MVP discussion and Rookie of the Year, because like you so rarely get to see them compete against each other, and then even when they do, there's so many external variables of like where all the Korean and Chinese teams are like playing at a weird time, or they're playing in situations where they weren't allowed to play up to the point, and then obviously all the Western players had to freaking jet lagged, and you know, playing in a it's just a disaster, man. Like there's just no consistent like, I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next game here?
Justice Outlaws, I believe.
Ooh, that should be good. Miss Blizzard Arena? Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying doing this, but I was pretty down bad yesterday when I look at the stupid fuel shot game, and I know I said this in Discord, but 27,000 views midway through the match. Wow. The longest Overwatch League win streak, two of the most popular teams in the world, playing at like not even particularly late, not even particularly early. It's like 4 or whatever, and
so we're at 25K watching this stream right now, it looks like.
yeah, that's not great. Tragic,
Yeah.
man. Tragic, man. Overwatch 2 or bust. Like I might actually be quite literally.
It's all the cards on the table at this point. It's do or die.
I really do think so. I think there's a good chance that Overwatch League does not come back next season, depending on how.
Yeah.
Teams are already like losing money out the wazoo, going crazy budget mode in the middle of the season. Favorite Owl season to watch? Honestly, nothing beats season 1. The level of play was really not quite good, but I was too stupid to know it at the time. I was like, I'm sure 99.9% of you guys. But the production quality was really high. Blizzard Arena was the best. The meta was like, besides the Mercy awfulness, the meta was pretty diverse. There was no goats. It was just, yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
Are you sure that's not some of the Gen 1 or nostalgia factor?
No, but well, here's the thing though, is like back then I would go out of my way to like watch as many games as I could because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, but it was a lot more novel back then, to be fair too. But yeah, I can agree.
Favorite season. It's still my favorite season.
Yeah.
Production quality was just so much better. Like that alone was like a big thing, and just having the live stages. That's a huge deal. Is not having the live stages. I think.
Junkrat dive. That's all you need to know.
Might be the best thing, not being sensitive to people's stuff. I don't know if there's a fix to this without ripping it down. Yeah, I mean, the thing, my concerns with the Overwatch League, as I've talked about before, is like, it just might be water under the bridge. I know that's not exactly the proper use of that term, but it might just be too little too late. I love how we're having this serious conversation as I now look like a tropical bird. But thanks for the hair check, Cager. But yeah, it's might be a little too late when it comes to a lot of these things, but we'll play it by ear. No harm, no foul. We'll see how things go. If it doesn't work out, sucks. If it doesn't, you look like Animus parakeets, man. Son of a gun. You must have some pretty ugly parakeets.
Damn, that's a loss. I like to think that the parakeets are lovely, so I don't know. Maybe you're just being called extra handsome with your hair.
Hey, I'll take it. It's a lose-lose or win-win. I can't. Either I take your parakeets down or I buff myself up. There's no downside here whatsoever. Downside, I say. No downside. Yo, can I have some tea or water? My throat's killing me. Yo. Is there any game you enjoy really as much as Overwatch 2 that you go into if Overwatch feels? Probably not in the same way, no. I mean, there's other games that I enjoy, but there's nothing that I would probably actively pursue coaching / content for. Like, not like a Valorant or anything. I just don't enjoy those games in that aspect. But there are things that I will pursue probably apart from Overwatch. I will become a cook streamer, and I'll scream and rant and chop things to bits.
Culinary school. It's wide open.
For some reason, I thought you said culinary school. There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, and its name is you.
After going through culinary school, you will need to get a colonoscopy. Tetris coach incoming. Ooh.
Do you think there actually is Tetris coaching?
I mean, there has to be, no? There has to be. There's a coach for everything, especially for like any like popular game. Like there's chess coaches, right?
There is. Fifi says there is. Yeah, I mean, I guess you had like text game guides for like everything back in the day. I was a little after that time when I was like seriously like looking around internet stuff, but like
yeah.
I mean, hey, probably out there somewhere out to where to spin your T's and dot your I's and all that jazz.
Wait, Chef Arc. Wait, that reminds me. Which buff hardtack video is it? Which one is it? Oh yeah, yeah. The 3 rules from climbing from gold to plat.
Poor cracker.
So I mean, I've already had reps with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, Buff Hardtack has had reps. I mean, I heard it tasted pretty terrible
He's
too.
the best mentor you could hope for.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even a mentor. He's like a hero. I think at that point, like I think mentor is like putting him down too far of a level.
Understandable.
Yeah, I remember having this idea and being like, "What if I just did that?" And Pepper's like, "Why?" And then we did it anyway.
What made you choose that sauce specifically? Was there any like rhyme or reason or?
Okay, so I was and am poor, so I have ketchup, maybe steak sauce. I got mayonnaise once, and that never used it really, so that didn't last long. So we're like one of those weird people that like you go grocery shopping and we eat basically everything, and then we go grocery shopping again. So if there was like an apocalypse, I'm dead, like instantly. Probably would last like about a week. It's not like, oh guys, we have like cooking. No, I'm dead, definitely dead. So irresponsible to the max. Yeah, you should try to get Buff Hardtack in the stream for some time. Maybe. I don't know. I would feel really uncomfortable with somebody stealing all my charisma. That would kind of tick me off. But yeah, we'll see. Dante's N. Okay. I would say Kalios is N, but that kind of goes without saying, I guess, with Justice nowadays.
I'm curious, do you have thoughts on like preference on like how the teams there? Just, we've seen some like Valiant with Dia, Vancouver with Mirror, like having the DPS. Well, I mean, it's generous to call Dante a DPS player now this season, but
yeah, I mean, it's the same
putting
thing
the
with
DPS
Mirror.
on the JQ here.
I think it's the same thing with Mirror, to be honest with you. I think like Dante is just like the DPS that also could play another tank and then also got bullied into playing the other tank because the team had preset strategy with him. Like Mirror, I know, had a lot of time on like Zarya, so he's kind of got like that kind of a thing going on. And then obviously Mirror, I don't know how well this is known, but he's a communicative guy, talks a lot. And again, in this meta, like that kind of hive mind, I guess, is just there's just so much value in it that, you know, False could be the better Junker Queen, but just in the nature of whatever the team needs at the point in time, that's what happens. At least that's from the outside perspective. Could be the case. We don't really know. So.
Not to mention, Mirror has the history with Deepay too, so maybe a little more realization of some of the ideals.
That is true, and I know Deepay, at least from what I know, enjoyed working with Mirror a lot. So, yeah, that could also be. It's always a tricky like balance between like how much of that is like nepotism versus so much of that is just there's a lot of trust built. Like, yeah, it's just tricky. If Joe from accounting is feeling it, he's a top 5 Genji in the league. Dang man. Okay, that was a pretty good one. I'll rep it. I respect. I mean, I still hate your guts, but you know, whatever. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Starting. Nothing special. Playing Sojourn. Maybe the only thing special is that there's no Ashe here, despite this being a relatively open sightline map. So we will see. And let me be clear, Justice and Toronto both, coming into this meta, even in scrims, were quite good. So, what is Toronto's record? Or Washington's record? Toronto's undefeated, no? Or am I misremembering this stage? And Washington as well, or no, Washington has lost once?
Take a quick look. Looks like Defiant lost once, Justice lost twice, so it's
Really?
4-1 and 3-2 respectively.
Wow.
Yeah.
Surprised at Justice.
Assuming Owl standings is updated.
Okay, blows his head off. But yeah, both of these I think are quite good. I generally don't do predictions, but I fully expect Justice to win this. Justice is the better team in my opinion, at least from what I know. My information's a lot dated though, so keep that in mind. But Justice were the better team here, pretty clearly. So we will see.
Yeah, I mean, so Fifi, I have, I believe I have Outlaws down for I think they're gonna lose to Justice like 3-1. I think Justice wins this.
I think so too.
I wouldn't be surprised if Outlaws could sneak in another map because I still think honestly Pelican is kind of underrated, even though
Pelican,
obviously people know he's a great player. But...
this might be a hot take for some folks, but I think Pelican is top 2, maybe even the best mechanical Genji in the league. And just in terms of mechanics, I think he's unbelievably mechanically good. I don't know if he's like as consistently smart as Proper. I don't know. Like, I mean, Alpha Yi, I know, is a really good shout out for an amazing mechanical Genji as well. But I think Pelican is, like you said, super,
I can't speak as much for his Genji like positioning specifically, but on Echo and Tracer, historically like last year and earlier this year, he's so good at being in the right place at the right time. And I don't know if that comes through quite as much on the Genji, but like this dude is. He like once again he's that cut of player who's like always in the right spot if he needs to be on those heroes. And hopefully he can bring that in more to the table on the Genji.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting with Houston because they looked really bad when they played versus us. We also looked pretty good, but I really do think that like they have the players to make it work. I don't think Dante seems like somebody who should be good in the Junker Queen. Relatively mechanically intensive. He's had reps with the team. I know he was playing it in beta. Pelican obviously is fine. Lastro, Lastro's probably the weak point for certain, but Lep is a good Lucio. Merit is a phenomenal Sojourn. Again, probably a good shout out for one of the best mechanical DPS Sojourns in the league. It's so hard this year because the positions are so stacked, but I think like Merit has to be top 3 Sojourn mechanically in NA.
He is crazy on the hero.
I think. Obviously, recency bias with a lot of some of the other players, but I really do think he's unbelievable. So, okay, kind of missing what's actually happening on the screen here, but we got Rampage for Rampage.
Yeah, scrappy fight earlier, draw out all the support ults eventually. That pick on Decay, though, could matter
that's
a
big.
lot.
That does matter a lot, because that means that there's no way that Dante doesn't go into this fight with it.
He shouldn't have a shout forced early at all, and yeah, they can't really...
No. Because there was a world where like Kalios gets a chance to use his Rampage first before Dante even gets his. But Dante, I think, they'll be able to at least second tempo without too much of an issue.
If Outlaws wins this next fight, it's pretty definitively going to be a 99-99, I think.
Yep, I would agree with that, because we'll have support ults for the fight after.
Yeah. Plus, Pelican should be able to hit Blade by then, too.
Kalios is looking... So Kalios does this a lot. He tends to tunnel and get split a little bit. He's very, very aggressive. It works there, but you could even see beforehand that as he's looking for it, he actually is taking so much. I don't think this wins
the elongated fight, though. I think it was too sloppy of an engage, maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because he moved in aggressively and hit a lot of the people, but he put himself right into the middle of the Outlaws, and I don't think Justice were ready to follow up on that in the way that we wanted.
He took so much damage pre-fight, too. I'm pretty sure that forced his shout as well.
Yeah, Fifi, I can say that Zest and Alpha Yi have been phenomenal players. Who are you is phenomenal on the Genji. I have watched all of them on the Genji, and I can vouch.
Genji is like Sojourn. It's like, there's like so many people that have argument for being really, 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 really good.
On the day, honestly.
Yeah. And it's so hard to tell, you know, a good team is going to make a good Genji look good. Bad team
if Outlaws can end this before Opener can get to beat, this could be really dangerous because they have the lead on Overclock and the earlier rally.
I don't know if they're going to.
If they let it go too long, though, it's probably in Justice's hands.
Yeah.
Because
that rally was odd from Lastro. I don't know if that was...
Yeah.
They just kind of stood there. I don't know if that was trying to pre-rally before they thought Assassin had Blade. That has to have been the case. There's the beat. But Pelican is down. That's their teeth.
That's rough.
That's a trade. Opener has a... Oh, Kalios 1 HP. Maybe Justice just wins that one.
Oh, no. Shot.
I think Justice
funny number, funny letter.
Yikes. I do think Justice probably win that one, though. Wait,
I
what?
think they would have.
What? Outlaws won it?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, man. Come on, man. No! I'm sitting here like, yeah, I think Justice probably had won that fight, though, so it's not that big of a... Bruh, Outlaws win it? What just happened?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, after they picked off Pelican, I think they kind of just were watching the clock enough and wanted to just go for the drawn out fight, because at that point that's probably what they would have won.
No!
And I think they just got a little
That was
little
such a brutal
dicey.
scene. I didn't even know what happened at first.
Yeah, it was really just like they surrounded the point even. Like they weren't even like all off in one direction.
Oh my gosh.
Pelican has a nice wide angle here that could be pretty useful.
Assassin chases Merit out of his wide angle. Now they've got a nice little pincer. There's the aggression.
Ooh.
They're not really getting anything done with these angles. At least Assassin's angle. Oh, there. Oh.
Yeah. Jeez, nice counter engage from Pelican there.
Yeah. Like Pelican just gets so much done there that fight, and Assassin just gets caught chasing. Like Assassin clears out Merit.
Yeah, take a look
from
at the
Mega.
ult charge differences on them.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like Assassin clears him out, but then he just gets caught chasing and just doesn't do anything.
It was also really impressive that Outlaws, as soon as they were surrounded by Assassin, you could actually see them pinch in very quickly towards the Justice backline.
Yeah.
And they didn't wait for Justice to kind of wear them down. They did go to like clear out one of those angles very fast, and it paid off.
Yeah. They get a nice rotate there, Justice do.
I think they probably get the point flip here, but I think Outlaws probably wins the prolonged fight. Oh, nice.
Oh. We've talked about this in previous metas. One of the biggest things that I've told even Plats is that point sucks on this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I'm not saying that that rotate was bad. You know, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and try different things. But if Outlaws don't immediately lose point, if Outlaws don't panic there, and they didn't, you just lose so many resources by sitting on point. Like, it's just so rough. Excuse me. Blade
if
here.
Outlaws win this point with just Blade or just Rally, it could be pretty massive.
Nah, 2 for 0.
Because that would set up their ult economy to match Justice down the line.
Yeah.
Even just with the two of them, because Beat you can hopefully stem off the bleeding against both Rally and Beat from the enemy.
That wasn't great.
Nah, they probably still lose next fight.
It sucks to be 2 for 0 with point control and still have to use 2 for 0 to win. That's not great.
Because yeah, and at this point, Justice can probably just use.
They're gonna have to use at
Beat
least.
and Blade.
Probably gonna have to use 3.
Plus overclock, yeah, but I think they might be able to keep Rally. But they might just want to cycle it, so we'll see.
Probably double support ult plus DPS ult. There's one. They're almost certainly gonna have to beat this as well because of the rampage.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'd be hilarious if there's an RC.
Whoa! He got nuked.
Okay, bye Decay. And there is a nice angle here. I don't think Justice has an answer to him right now.
Wow, Justice comes out clean.
Okay, nice.
I don't even know what happened there, man.
Yeah, it cost them everything though, and
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
so now we're in a neutral setup, but Outlaws is on course to hit their key ults first. Justice probably wins this next fight off of Rampage, but I don't. Okay, bye.
How does he die to that?
He must have had dash off from the kite back or something.
Yeah, I guess he like messed up his double jump or something.
I think Assassin has to hit his blade in this next fight off of whatever time Calio spies them, because if he doesn't, I think Justice just loses the fight after this one.
I mean, well, Kalios is the Rampage.
Yeah, so Justice should win this fight, right, in theory. But if they can't get more ults online off that fight win,
I
don't think they're going to be set up for the next one after, yeah.
You're like 7 steps ahead of me, so like, I'm still thinking about this fight, you're thinking about like the mental impact of losing this map on next season's Justice rebuild, and how that will affect.
They're going to be in shambles.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
But yeah, see, so I mean. So opener got a huge amount of ult charge there, but last round Pelican are still on course.
Dude, that's massive. They're gonna walk into this fight for 2 for 0. Just go.
Like, yeah, that pickup, that was like all they needed, and yeah, because Pelican hits blade and it should be over.
They get the flip. There's the early rally advantage. Krillin dies. That's it.
Like this has to be cut and dry.
Doesn't matter. It's it. Doesn't matter. No.
Yeah, I mean at this point, and I mean even if it gets scrappy down to there it is. There's the clean.
Wow. What a
all
weird
is all is
map.
according to plan.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, C9, random crap happening. It's pretty predictable. Well, Justice was getting smoked. I want to go back and look at the the massive ult fight. I know that clarifies things a lot in this meta, but the
Yeah, it could be any of them.
90% green with the defensive Outlaws control. So like Merit ults really early. What does he see? What does he know? He just ults. Okay. He's this thing and they gotta walk out. I can just pop the overclock. Juicy Sunday. All right.
They probably just knew that they had that like Justice had nothing in the tank because like they're like, well, we can literally just walk on them. Because even if they didn't have all their ults right away,
Yeah.
Justice had 0.
Teehee. What? So yeah, I feel like the Sojourn maybe just a wee bit early, because Justice is in a position where they can actually they just fully wait it out and then push out, and they still have to touch afterwards. So then they're gonna rally Sojourn ult. Pelican gets super split. They just walk forward with 2-for-1. I feel like the 2-for-1 maybe not 100% necessary, but maybe they're trying to like just beef up survivability so that maybe the opener doesn't have to beat. I don't really know. There's the Rampage, hits 2. They beat in response. Decay doesn't get the beat. Pelican assassinates him before he gets it. Lep then beats, but then Assassin blades on top of it. So yeah, really not clean ult game from Justice there. So they end up having to use essentially 4 ults for 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Which normally that's okay, but I also think that Merit just threw his Sojourn ult into the toilet. So it was really 4 ults for 2. Because they managed to just completely wait out an ultimate. Because what happens is then they wait out an ultimate and then they end up using Sojourn and Rally just to force Outlaws to point, and then they end up having to beat the Rampage, and then they lose somebody anyway. So they actually 3-for-1, and they still lost Decay. So
that was in the super scrappy fight. That was
Yeah.
like the super costly one, right?
Yeah, the one that Justice wins. Yeah.
It makes me wonder though, like even if Merit hadn't kind of beefed on the overclock a little bit, I still don't know if that would have overcome having the Rampage
I
for
think
Kalias next fight.
I'm more irritated about the way that Justice played this one personally. Like I think like popping the Rally and the counter Sojourn ult was not the play. I think you do one, you don't do both. Probably the Sojourn ult, given the position or the situation. Maybe actually, I really either can be fine.
Either would have been fine.
Considering they had a touch, maybe the Rally is just the safer option. But then obviously, like Decay getting split there is just really atrocious, right? Like it just makes this fight so much harder than it had any right to be.
Bottom text on your slide still says Boston versus Toronto.
Well, that's part of the charm. That's what
I guess that's what we've been watching this whole time.
That's what we do here. So you know, that's just how it is. So just to spite you, we're gonna do Washington Justice Overwatch team versus the versus the Houston Outlaws Overwatch team. There you go.
Beautiful.
There you go. So there's no question at all what we're watching. You're welcome. I can clarify that these are Overwatch League teams if you would like, but
that's what I was just thinking too. I'm like, what if it's the
right.
Washington Justice contenders? They're still can't leave room for those misconceptions.
Overwatch
That's a good call.
League team versus the Overwatch League team.
Much better.
But wait a second, it's live. It's a
live
review. Live game currently on 9/3/2022. I think that's pretty clear. Am I seeing any details here? Wait, hang on a second here. Washington's Overwatch team
in the Holocene area, I mean, do you gotta like how big are we going here?
No, I think I can go without saying that.
Yours is fine.
But I am commentating on
Co-casting.
co-casting, yeah, on this game with Anima, who is a coach. Please send cash and firstborn children.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, all 3 names. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah. I mean,
good.
we're going for the real fairy tale vibes here,
Hydrate,
right?
thank you. Yeah. I mean, we're really there can be no stone unturned. Everybody has to understand exactly what's being said here. My tea is freaking hot. Ow.
Bummer.
Yeah. Is this Overwatch or Overwatch 2? Holy crap.
Overwatch 1.
Overwatch League team.
2. Overwatch 2 League.
They are playing Overwatch 2 video game.
On PC.
Oh yeah. I need to create another text channel here. Hang on here.
Or you can make it. Can you make a smaller font? That might work.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm running out of space here, but so I might have to. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. Let's see here. What font size are we currently dealing with here? Size? Hello?
Okay, so the next map is starting up pretty soon. They're loading out of spawn, so you might want to catch up. We're going to 3, so well, yeah, taking to the streets of Rio.
This is all your fault. Ugh. Not your fault,
Of
Emma.
course.
This Overwatch 2 video game on the PC stands for personal computer.
What age range?
Yeah, this is more important than the Overwatch.
Safe. Yeah. Hello, recently. What age range do you want for the firstborn? We're flexible. We're flexible. I mean, either they're good working material, or they will be raised to be better working material, you know?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it would be a little bit of a pain if they're babies, but, you know, that means
As
that
long
they'll
as
be
it's the
that much
firstborn,
better.
that's the economics. All right, 3, 2, 1. No
Just
pressure.
a tiny bit ahead of me.
Okay, that's fine. As long as it's close enough.
Don't get used to that. No. Okay.
For shame.
So this rotation is always fun. How are teams going to rotate out of this choke? Let's watch. So
It's interesting that Outlaws are going for the initial hold around the bridge here. I guess it is kind of cut
most
and
teams
dry.
do. You just have to.
Yeah,
Depends on
it's
how they
normal
angle around it.
But
Merritt's playing super far back. There's the shout.
nice from
What is
Kelly.
what happened there? Ah! Oh no, Merritt's fine. Merritt's fine. Merritt's not fine. Merritt is fine. So interesting.
Man, what a dog pile.
It's like what ends up happening is like teams take angles because angles in the choke are OP. But then I swear it happens every single time that somebody gets split and and gets pushed on. Like, how on earth does Pelican die there?
Yeah,
I must know.
Strange.
And then they lose anyway. So no harm, no foul. How did Pelican die? I don't know. What is my opinion on Ashe versus Sojourn? My suspicion is that Ashe is probably pretty good for teams if you can find a way to peel her off and set her up in positions where she can do good pressure. It's really not like some big complicated like, well, they just go, hi, I play Ashe. If you peel me, I'm going to shoot a lot of people. If I'm Edison, apparently, I'm going to shoot a heck of a lot of people, and therefore I'm going to do more than Sojourn. For most teams, Sojourn is almost certainly easier, more flexible, more mobile, less pushable. But if a team like Dallas is really, really good at peeling off their Ashe and playing angles in positions where the Ashe can do work, then I think like if Ashe can set her feet, Ashe does an unbelievable amount of damage in this meta. And Bob is pretty clearly the better ultimate. At least, like we said earlier, it's the more consistent ultimate, if nothing else.
Oh, Justice got split that there. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, first rally too.
Oh, wasn't there, yeah. It's interesting that Justice aren't taking, they didn't take any rotation around far right side. Do you think they're too afraid of being booped, or just not thinking that they want to hit that long rotation, or?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Because in theory, that would give you better approach angles.
I was, to be honest, thinking about Ashe and Sojourn. Yeah, I've less than a 1-track mind. I have like a 2/3 track mind, so any sort of deviance, and I'm like literally on the rumble strip on the side of the road, like hitting pedestrians. So Yeah.
Hey, I'm here for the other third.
It's
So
weird. You are the
make one.
pedestrian. It's like, was it,
Yeah, I'm the
bum, 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 bum,
pedestrian
bum,
in
bum.
front
Did
of
I
the
hit
car.
something? Oh no, I forgot to invite Anima to the voice. My bad. You know, what was that? I don't know. We'll find out later, I guess. You know. Oh jeez. Cager for Al. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so
Okay, so now they're at least going up to the top.
there's
a
the
little
shout.
more.
There's the rally. Though they're gonna push into that with Blade. Wowza.
Yeah,
and
and the beat.
beat. See, like most teams there would have been like, these guys just shouted for nothing and they just wasted rally. Let's kite out. Ha ha ha. But they actually pushed in. That's wild.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
actually
not.
sure I agree with that.
I
But,
don't mind it.
well, I guess if you think about it, I don't know if they're thinking this hard about it, but we can pretend that they're thinking this
Yeah.
hard about it. That maybe there's the teabag. Maybe they're like, yo, if we kite out from this bridge part to point is booty cheeks. So we have a good position now. Outlaws did, and so like let's try and hold it. Like let's not go, because that's always the thing. If you end up kiting out an ult, you end up losing. You always lose space too. You always lose space, and sometimes that space is just too powerful. Outlaws are now set up for the backside of point. They're gonna try it, and I guess not die. That's always a good strategy.
They should just win this pretty easily.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about,
rally.
right? They kite out the Sojourn ult, but look at the position that they're in. How is Kalio's dead? Please tell me.
He got split off into the bottom right, I believe.
There's just no way. I look at this and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. Okay.
The 3K of Maris rubbing salt in the wound generously.
How? I'm sorry. You look at this fight. Okay, chat, open up your Overwatch stream. Go to like 7 seconds in. 7 seconds left. 7 seconds left, okay? And I'm looking at the freeze frame, and I'm how? Okay, I understand the Outlaws have rally, but they still have an active Sojourn ult, and they still have a Rampage. How do they lose this quickly at least? There's just no way. They have every angle in the world. Kalio's Rampages, and just look at his HP. So Kalio's just kind of staying in the open. Kalios gets demolished. Holy bottoms. Look at that. Look at his HP. He gets one shot. He just dies. Unreal to me. Okay. Well. Like, Kalio, did they just show that on stream? I just realized that they might have shown, like, Kalios just getting one shot. It had to have been a Sojourn headshot or something. Like, he gets demolished. I think also going inside there, Kalios should have played, like, more in the corner.
Yeah, that was my kind of thought too,
But we've seen
especially
this with
because they probably
Kalios,
would have
man.
gotten a better rampage angle maybe too.
Yeah,
from
I
there
agree.
instead
I
of
agree.
Going inside.
I agree. And setting first tempo there made no sense when they had rally too. I'd prefer them like let him out. And I mean,
Maybe
we
he
keep
took
seeing
too
that from
much for
Kalios
going
though.
in.
We keep seeing that from Kalios, like where he swings wide, takes too much damage, and then dies. Like, he just he is he's a
if
little
he
bit
took
of
too
a
much
feeder.
heat going in, then he
I
would
see.
probably feel like, oh, I need to stabilize, and if that doesn't,
There's just
if
no
that
way.
puts him in, that's right.
Maybe it was just a positioning thing. He just had to play better cover. I think that's probably it. This T is good though. Okay, look at it. Zoomer. Wow, Pelican gets through. Wow.
Oh, they're hustling. Do they just? Outlaws might just win this outright.
No
honestly.
way.
Okay,
no. Way. They cost some shout and amp speed, and Justice like didn't panic.
Right.
How is Kalios? How? How?
Merit is getting
How
away
is
with
this
murder.
happening? How? I literally
You
just
were
got
saying
done last week saying when you have a man advantage, when you have a man advantage, you cannot. It's like so hard to clutch this out. How? How on
Sorry,
earth?
guys. Back it up. Back it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have to back it up. All right. Okay. We're looking on the
To
stream
me,
here.
like the reason that I called the Outlaws seemed like they could win that is they rotated so fast that they didn't get caught into Justice's angle. So even though they ate a ton of like heat at the start
Yeah, Justice
and had
isn't
the
set up
resources
for it.
forced, Justice wasn't set up to catch that. So they literally just crossed the other side.
That's
And then
true.
Justice, I don't think they adjusted their positioning. They
Okay.
like that map flip. I don't think Justice handled it well.
Okay, so okay, Lep is 1 HP. They have the shout. Lep dies. Okay. Pog in the chat.
Which should have been
Did
just
Hive Mind
closed
break?
it out right
Did Hive
then
Mind
there.
break? Did Hive Mind break, chat? Did Hive Mind break?
His AK is fuming. Yeah, Decay and shambles.
Yeah, Hive Mind broke. They went really hard for the Lucio kill, but then they're like so deep, and then you can like, I don't know if you guys are freeze frame. Look at freeze frame like 323. Like that is like, there's your Hive Mind, right? Like look at, is it Assassin? Yeah, look at Assassin, Kalios, and then look at the backline of the Outlaws or the Outlaw.
I'm kind of wondering like now what, almost like
right. Like if you
lost
guys,
track of the plan.
if you guys can see that, like that's where the Hive Mind breaks. This stuff doesn't happen to Dallas Fuel. Like so rarely does this kind of crap happen to Dallas Fuel, right? I'm not saying that Justice are idiots and morons. Like this is hard to be able to keep yourself like this focused in the middle of a team fight. But this literally just they just lose, right? They just lose from this. Whereas Outlaws are like way more cohesive. Like Kalios gets split. Dante is able to zone without like actually committing for it. And then, I mean, Dante kind of goes a little too aggressive early. It's, and then at that point, you know, who knows? It's mechanics at that point. I mean, really, the other thing too is it's like at that point in time, if you get that trade, that 9 out of 10 times favors the team with the Jungle Queen, right? Like you trade a Lucio for a Jungle Queen, you take that trade every single time. You get your shout, you get your more like actual direct damage, and then obviously like who knows like mechanically like what happens after that. But like that's like actually so criminal that Kalios gets split from his backline after that, like whatever happens. And this is what I was talking about, chat. You look at this. Sorry, Anima, I'm just
no worries.
This is what happens. Like nothing about this, at least initially, was about mechanics or a player being better than the other player with like they just got split. Like, you know, your bronze teammates that don't know how map control works and angles work, and they're like, group up, guys. Well, that kind of applies in this meta. If you got your Brig Lucio and your Jungle Queen all on different pages, and like my Brig is kiting out, Kalios is going in, that's it, you know? And then obviously you have to give some credit to the mechanics there because Merit hits the headshot, right? Kalios is feeding, but Kalios also has like 300 HP, 250. Okay, actually, never mind. Kalios is dead either way. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier when Merit hits that shot. Wow. Son of a gun.
Question here of what do you mean by Hive Mind, if you want to go into any further depth on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, we talked a lot about it last week, but it's just basically everybody's on the same page and the same target and going in the same direction off of the same timing.
That's like a very short soapbox. I thought you'd go on a
no,
further depth.
No. I'm old and feeble. So Decay is fuming. Did Decay fume? What did Decay do?
Join the Justice.
Mag looked like he wanted to like punch some kid after the Boston game. What was it, last week?
Yeah. That one was something.
Okay, Decay goes through the 4 stages of grief, looks frustrated, then kind of grins and rubs his hands together, then walks away.
He had his Joker moment.
Yeah, his Joker arc. Yeah. Oh, I finally snapped. Awesome. At the end, he didn't look happy. I don't know. Yeah, he's going through his Joker
because
mode.
he's Decay.
Everyone plays like they have a beehive in their head. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Why did Krillin hide so far inside at 321? Let's find out. 321. Why did Krillin hide so far?
While you're on your soapbox here, I'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Okay, sounds good. 321. Why did Krillin hide so far? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was pretty low. But he did go pretty far. I guess he saw the Junker Queen pushing. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, though, guys. It's like, whose fault was this like whole thing? You know what I'm saying? Was it just Kalios being a brain dead idiot? Was it then the backline not communicating? Was it just like a lack of confidence? So then they're not communicating as well as they normally would. It's like endless possibilities, and this is why this meta is so tricky and so snowbally, because you can have a team that's like mechanically pretty good, but man, if they just get off and like something like that, and like GG's, man. You know what I'm saying? GG's. Like it is. Houston, like, yeah, I don't know. It's not like Washington can't match Houston toe-to-toe on their heroes mechanically. Like, if you look, I mean, maybe, what is it? I'm trying to, like, look at their, I mean, I'm not super familiar with all, but, like, Krillin, Lastros, I mean, I don't really know. Kalios seems like probably pretty good mechanically. Decay, Merit, maybe Merit's a little better. Assassin seems to be pretty good in the Genji, though. That's probably one of his comfort picks. Like, I don't know. And Justice were good, but I don't know. Maybe this mag thing is like had a bigger impact on Justice than we know. Maybe like the mag synergy being broken has been like the real crumbler. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have any questions while we're waiting for the next map, I'm down. Redeeming posture check. Dude, I'm literally praying for a 3-0 just so because my throat's like crying right now. So this is what I get for screaming too much. Oh, you're back.
Yep, just
Okay.
arrived back.
Okay.
Not feeling the odds on the reverse sweep here.
No, heck no. Houston throat punches somebody. They're done. It's over.
I think Justice takes this next map maybe.
Yeah,
I
it could
think
be.
I feel like Decay, if they
How tall am I?
I feel like there's a chance here that they hit the shots right and get it, because escort obviously can go very differently than some of these other map types because of the more gradual nature.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a little less like boom boom pow, you know. All right, where is this picture? I'll show you how tall I am.
Are you on a step stool?
No. Here's my height. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I can see it. Ripa from London Spitfire made this wonderful little picture for me. I hate him so much.
Beautiful.
When is the coaching forum open? Probably after stream is done.
I like they didn't even crop out the background. All right, we're in on the start.
No. In all actuality, I'm like right here, right between these guys. I'm like just on like 5'8" and like 9/10. Find a new insult. Oh man. Find a new insult. Let's think. You have to give me like a topic though. You have to give me something to think about here. All right, we're also live in the game, man. Like, why are you trying to distract me? I've got things to focus on, better things.
Yeah, Spilo already doesn't have enough brain cells to go around.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like the rumble strip we were talking about. Like, I can't focus on like two things at once, and we're just running over more pedestrians.
Oh, this is speaking
of
pedestrians getting run over.
Yeah.
This is a disaster for Justice. Kalios is on 20%. He's like, Dante has double the ult charge. This is not looking great so far.
Could be about you. Better things to focus on. I mean, we could make a joke about the Justice, about like, there's a joke about, you know, Washington, the political system starting off nice and crispy and now just looking like, you know, like a stale, like, there's like coffin level of energy at the moment.
Here's the new insult. You can call someone a dirt wit.
A dirt wit. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's a chart of rude compounds on Reddit, and that's like one of the lowest used ones. Like, you know, things like scumbag or whatever, like things like that. But you'd call them like a dirt bag or something. But yeah, dimwit, dirt wit, same difference.
Dirt wit is nice. I like dirt wit.
It's a miracle that Justice is out of spot. There goes Kalios as per usual.
Oh, Lep is popping.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think that was just like, as soon as Kalios goes down, it's just a slow burn down for Justice. I think they just like don't win that prolonged fight without the JQ presence.
Coffin level energy is good enough for you. Yeah. Well, how about this one? You're not a dorm. You're not the doormat that I walk over. You're the dog crap I wipe my shoes on, or wipe off my shoes rather. That one's a little bit intense. You can't trigger hydrate. I mean, because you just did.
Merit is disgusting.
Are you feeling really, really sad that you doubted my ability to... Yeah, see, shut up recently. Like, okay, listen. I was so close. This is the problem. I actually put the effort into trying to do something that would make you happy. That was my first mistake.
Change
It's like the welcome to the world. Your first mode of operation is to be kind to others, except the recently. That's like the when you're born handbook. This is just wild. I really feel like there has to be some sort of like a juke or a rotation or a fake that Justice can do out of this choke. It starts to feel like, I don't know if you ever played like the double shield meta here, but it's like this choke is like brutal. You have to do all sorts of funky stuff. Wipe my shoes in dog poop. Yeah. Oh! My presence shambles.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
The
this is
problem
really
is
all
that I
like
don't
this is
know
all
if
on just Decay and Kalios at this point.
Does Houston even get a recontest here? Who's dying last? Who's dying last? Lep is dying last, and he died very late. Maybe.
Interesting.
No way.
I think they will go for the touch, but they lose the touch if they do. They absolutely lose the touch if they go for one.
No way they touch. No way.
It would be a hard beat because
way.
JQ
No way.
would roll them.
No, they don't. Dang it! Nah!
Okay, yeah. So we're still scraping by a
Reverse
little
sweep starts
further.
now. Shut your stupid mouth.
That might be going a little far. I don't know if we can expect the reverse sweep here.
That's it, man. Snowbally. It's over.
Mm.
The map's over. I mean, you're the one that was talking about like 7 fights in advance here. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know if it's over yet. Like, give me a break, dude. This map is completely over. Houston has lost it. Houston not only has lost it, they've probably lost their stage like performance in the playoffs. It's over. Look at this guy. If they had won the previous fight, Pelican would have gotten like a 5K with this blade. Doesn't even make any sense, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's over, man. Okay, yeah. The screw.
That was almost a scare.
And Outlaws that had not lost the previous fight would not have had to even need to win this fight. So,
That's
you see what I'm
very
saying?
true.
Kalios got juked. He was trying to get the Genji. It's really not that hard with the Rampage. He just whiffed. Pelican just completely like humiliated him. I will say this defensive positioning is like really difficult because like there's a lot of payload maps where like the high ground is
Ooh,
aggressive.
I like the flip though here.
Yeah, but you don't push cart. That's the problem. That's what I was gonna say.
Well,
It's like,
yeah.
you look at like Hollywood, it's like cart's rough, but like you can still
But at
push
least
it.
this gives him a better approach path to
Yeah,
that
that's
high
true.
ground.
Yeah,
for the
that's
fight.
true. I mean, I'm sure it's a good play. I'm just like, I don't know.
But yeah, because that high ground is very locked down on the perch points, and it's very difficult, I think, even with Genji's vertical mobility, to get yourselves in position to
What
make
happened?
the high impact plays. That's a nice pickoff on Merit, though.
I don't know even how he died. I felt like the Justice were getting so much push with Merit using.
I think he probably
overclock.
got caught out early doing like something aggressive or something.
How did Decay die? Decay got caught. How did Decay get caught, man? That was like such an easy fight win for Justice there.
It should have been.
They clutched that out so nicely. Your number one problem with Overwatch is the OT spawns give an advantage to the team. Yeah. Dante got a good rampage. Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay. All right, big rally coming up. It's impossible. Reverse sweep starts right now. Emma said it. Emma bet literally his entire life savings. I'm sure you guys heard it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't love the chances here of Rally versus
Inspire.
Blade.
Nah, Pelican sucks. Guy's totally washed. He only got like
I'm
a 2K
praying for
earlier.
once
Look
for
at that, look at
Pelicans
that, look at that.
downfall here, but I don't think it's
Look at that.
happening.
Look at this blade. He only killed one. Only killed one.
Only killed one. Man,
Look
what
at
a
that
weirdo.
shame, man.
Honestly, if Kalios can somehow get to Rampage, it's... Nope. Okay, yeah, not clutchable at all.
Yeah, they're all one.
Yeah,
Well,
you
like I
got
said,
two.
Path the reverse sweep. That's all you need. Justice is gonna hold the spawn doors.
Yeah.
All $0. What makes a good rampage? So the rampage is probably the most flexible ultimate in the comp by far. With what you can do with it, you can use it as an engage ult. You can use it as a peel ult. You can use it as a counter to blade. You can use it as
Honestly, a lot like Bob.
yeah,
in
you can
terms
use
of way you use it.
a splitter. You can use it as you hit one target, you kill the one target. Because the thing with rampage is like, even if it's like, oh, it's a one-man rampage, but you hit him at like half, 2/3 HP, they die unless there's shout. There's literally nothing they can do about it. You can do it and hit a bunch of people, and it just slow. For example, if like they're rally engaging and you rampage, it won't stop the rally engage, but it will negate it essentially. So it really depends on the situation. Like that's why there isn't no one way to use it. There's not even two ways to use it. It really depends on the
Yeah,
circumstance.
you can think of it as kind of just like a Swiss Army type knife tool here. I think the most important thing to consider though with it, or at least one of the most important things though, is where you're gonna end up afterwards. Because if you like, it's all too easy, even if you're using it defensively, to kind of just like kick the gas and suddenly jump off into the enemy team or whatever, or
Yeah,
like off
exactly.
to the side and leave your backline in shambles. And if you don't have your team ready to like follow up or like make the play with you or something, it can be pretty costly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There's the.
Ooh.
I feel like Merritt might just get, or Decay might just get run over here. We'll see though. He's isolated, but maybe they just ignore it.
Oh, Outlaws are way more hive-minded, bro. I'm telling you, like if you look at nothing else this map, you can just see like the hive-minded Outlaws, like they're all in the same target, all in the same target. It does not feel like Justice is the same at all. I'm telling you, man, I would bet at least 50-60 cents on Mag's impact in this comp. But Outlaws are definitely getting reverse swap. 100%.
Yep.
Justice, we're just taking it easy on them this fight. This fight, though,
they're just rolling Outlaws into false sense of confidence.
Yes, sure, right, exactly. It's like, it's all like a boom. What's gonna be the most booming way to lose in round 3?
They lose this fight, they win the one after that, and then probably lose in the next 2 fights.
Okay, you're just cheating now. Anima's like actually like 15 seconds ahead of me. I've just been lying this entire time.
Yeah, of course.
Jeez,
okay, well, apparently I'm
Hydrate,
wrong. Somehow won that fight. So maybe you're right. Maybe the reverse sweep starts now. And,
yeah. I mean, what do you mean maybe? What makes Genji meta right now compared to Overwatch 2? We talked a lot about it last week in stream. Burst potential, mobility, the ability to go in, the ability to go out. He's just the best at it compared to the other DPS heroes that are being played. Tracer sucks. Can't do any damage versus these guys. Has no good burst potential. Reaper is terrible in and out and terrible against these comps. He's just very mobile and goes in and out. That's basically it. And the way this meta goes in, you have your shot, you're in. If you don't have your shot, you're out. It's really that simple.
Yeah, especially like even beyond the mobility being just like in terms of like horizontal speed and stuff. He also like has that vertical mobility that this comp just doesn't really have otherwise. So he can patch up a little bit of that weak point and like contest if they're if the hit scans off on an angle or whatever.
Exactly. He just is a hero that can go in and out very quickly, and this comp is very in and out very quickly, and also he has the ability to to burst people, whereas a hero like, ironically, Reapers is not very good at bursting people.
I wonder if Justice can win this without using both of their support ults. That would be very interesting. Okay, probably not. Decay is out. Okay, Krillin's out. They're not using both their support ults by force. Man, what a fight. And that's rough that Krillin got picked off because now they don't have the beat, which they arguably probably would have wanted more for dealing with Pelican's Blade than the rally.
It's rough to walk out of that fight and still feel like that we're at best on even ultimate footing for Justice.
Because they had, what, 5 ults going in versus like 2? 3?
Well, to be fair, Outlaws did use 2, or 3, but like... Houston, excuse me, but like you would have liked Houston to have blown a lot more.
Or at least us having to use less,
So Houston's doing the Hollywood example where they're just pushing cart as best as they can.
Which, I mean, I don't think Justice hates because they probably want to buy a little time for Rampage anyways.
The blade beat. There it is.
Yep, okay, on the shot,
Oh, I thought I was going to get kited.
Ooh, that was a nice E from Decay, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Yeah, okay, so I bought them a little bit of time.
Surely the Justice will start trying now. Here it comes any second now.
They're about to activate. Decay gets the
Like as predicted, 3-0 sweep Houston. I predicted this. Sorry, stream. First thing.
He did predict the 3-0.
He did.
You heard it here first.
Jeez, man.
Houston, that was hard to watch.
Like Houston just hive minds so much better than Justice, so much better than Justice. I mean, you can break things down to old economy and angles and things like that, but I'm telling you, some of these games really just boil down to this team was just so much better at all being the same page and moving as a unit. And that felt like you just feel the pressure. Like remember on the first attack with Houston and Kalios is like spawn holding. It just felt like for Kalios, like he was just 5v1ing. You know what I'm saying? Like he just felt like there's 5 members of Houston on him like constantly. It just I don't know.
Maybe those coaches back in early Overwatch had the right idea. Just go fast and focus.
Yeah, just group up and go fast. I mean, I think if you look at teams like Toronto, if you look at teams like Dallas, they do a much better job of incorporating some of the angles, some of the more advanced level concepts into execution. That's why you start seeing things like these ashes and stuff being played. But at like this mid-tier level of Overwatch, you're still seeing things like grouping up and just being all on the same page. I'm not saying that these teams are not utilizing DPS angles, of course. Every team is, but there is definitely the reason Houston won was teamwork. And you could just see it. I don't know what is happening with Justice, but they just felt on different pages. I want to see this shot from Merritt again. That kind of just handed them, or shots, I guess.
Houston looks like they like amped up their performance a lot, because I remember looking at their play in the early like first 2 weeks of this meta or whatever, and like even when they subbed Dante in, I was not that impressed.
Yeah, for sure.
And even like now, I don't think they're like on the refine, obviously, of like these top like teams like Dallas or Shock in this meta. But they had looked a lot better today, I think.
Yeah,
and I don't think
like,
good.
Really
and
good.
I mean, Justice had a lot of weaknesses, but I don't think they were like complete slouches either by any means.
I think if you compare this to how they played versus London, I think like Houston looks way better. Houston looks way better. So that's good for Houston. I think Houston going into this meta was very bad, and they have steadily improved. So that's obviously very encouraging. You don't understand Houston right now? I mean, I think it makes perfect sense. Houston walked into a horrible teamwork, non-double flex support meta where they just signed main support and no Junker Queen, essentially. And then no Brig player either. And they've made the best of the situation, and they're looking okay right now. Like they look solidly. I mean, I wouldn't put. They look like they definitely. I mean, Washington is not a bad team. Maybe they're not so good right now, but they're not a bad team. They beat London, and Houston just had their way with them. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, Anima, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much, mate. I guess we'll see how the rest of the games go this weekend, but I appreciate you coming on and appreciate your presence and patience.
Of course, anytime.
Cheers, man. Have a good rest of your day. Yes, that was Anima, buddy of mine. Good coach, smart guy. Just had him chilling. So yeah, we're gonna call stream there. I am planning on opening coaching sessions today, so be ready for yet another ping. And that will get started. And then, like I said, if you guys haven't paid attention, Custa collaboration this coming Tuesday. That will be fun. And maybe we'll do a coaching session stream this Thursday. We'll see how many coaching sessions that we end up getting scheduled for that time. But yeah, y'all have a good rest of your Saturday, and I will see you guys later. Spilo out.